first, I want to preface this by saying it pains me to say this because I want Intel. I really want Intel to succeed. America needs Intel to exceed,
Hmm.
but they got a lot of work to do for them. And the thing that matters most is progress on their foundry, and that's still a ways out. And so in the interim, we're just looking at product, and this quarter it looks like product did a little bit better than expected. Data center looked a little bit better than expected, but unclear how they got there. I'm going to listen to the call and see what they say about PC outlook. I don't have a lot of confidence that they can sustain that for the year.
When you say America needs Intel to succeed, I think of what the administration before this administration did with the CHIPS Act. And I'm also looking at what this administration has promised when it comes to its own industrial policy. Is the US doing enough, or should the US do anything to help Intel succeed at this point? Or is this a lost cause?
I think Intel is savable. I think Intel certainly has the technology to do advanced semiconductor manufacturing. You look at their next process called 14A, it looks very promising and very competitive. And it's just a question of the economics more than anything else. Can they get it out the door in time? There are a lot of smart people at Intel. They really know their stuff. And so if they can get the economics to work on that next process, it looks much better for them. And so I don't know. I'm not a policy guy. I don't know what the right approach is. I think there are things the government can do to make it easier. Lots of things have been suggested, but I think ultimately Intel can succeed commercially with their foundry business. They can do it without government support. Government support though wouldn't hurt.
Interesting. Okay. Is there something that could come up, Jay, on the call, especially when it comes to the foundry business? Our Kunjan Sabani saying the same thing, that this is crucial to their success going forward. Is there something that they could say that would make you have a little bit more hope for their outlook?
I'm really curious to see what they say about their data center business, right? They don't have a coherent, complete AI strategy right now, and they're aware of that. And I'm really interested to hear what Lip-Bu Tan has to say. He's certainly very smart and knowledgeable and well connected. They need more than they have because they just really today don't have anything that that could conceivably compete against Nvidia, and they probably won't for a while. And so, which way are they going to go on that? Are they going to try to compete with Nvidia long term? Are they going to just try and make the best of it? They still have a good CPU core franchise. So I want to know how that is playing out in the marketplace, where you're seeing so much share, so much wallet share is going to Nvidia. What's Intel going to do in that world where now Nvidia is the dominant player in the data center, and Intel is sort of playing second fiddle, which is a role they haven't, that's new to them. They used to be the dominant one. So
Is
how do
there,
they fit into the order?
sorry, is there room in the market for second fiddle? Is there demand for second fiddle, or does nobody want that because Nvidia, they want to get the best, or what's viewed as the best from Nvidia?
So there are two sides of that. One on the GPU side, which is what Nvidia makes. I think the market absolutely wants an alternative. That's not Intel today, right? Probably the closest alternative they have is the internal silicon that's coming out of the hyperscalers and AMD. Intel's not even in that race right now. Separate from that, there's a conversation about CPUs, which is Intel's core product historically, and they still have good CPUs. And there's a lot of money they can make if they can figure out the right way to position those CPUs in the AI data center. And I think that's where I'd like to see them put the most effort.
It does feel like they've done a lot, though. And they did talk about, Jay, that they see this restructuring substantially complete by the fourth quarter of 2025. So the fourth quarter of this year. I mean, he's getting things done. I don't know, like how much longer do you think, they're going to need in order to really get this company back on a course that keeps them around for a lot longer and keeps them or gets them back to being a significant competitor here in the chip space and the evolution of where we are?
Yeah, I mean, Intel at heart, the problem is cultural. They used to be the dominant player, and now they're not anymore. And they need to reorganize not just the number of people, but sort of how everyone thinks about the problems facing them. And that's hard to do. And I think Lip-Bu can bring that about. He's done it in the past. But that kind of change takes a while. And I know that the headline figure is they're going to cut 15% of the workforce. I saw somewhere else that they're actually talking about at the management layer, they're cutting 50%.
Wow.
And again, this pains me to say because I have a lot of friends who work at Intel, but the company needed that, right? There's that middle management function has just gotten too bloated. And so, yeah, I agree. This is a positive step. It's a step in the right direction. And I apologize to my friends who are losing their jobs because of it, but this company needed to do this.